Hi, I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. A real pleasure to chat to you today. Maybe you can kick off with a brief introduction to Grime Kids. For people who don't know anything about it, can you set the scene? What can they expect from the show?
I think this is the hardest, actually the hardest question. I mean, we faced this question so many times before, like marketing the show, like people, like family, friends asking, like, what's the show about? It's so difficult. I feel like there's so many things all at one time. I feel like the genres, it's like kind of genre colliding, but also like stylistically, the way it's being shot, the way it's being told, the way that we want the audience to take it in, it's all quite a lot. But I think a few boxes can just be like being young or being a teenager, highs and lows that come with that time, a family, connection, community, underpins of culture, and I won't speak anymore.
I think nostalgia as well. It definitely has like a feel, like a nostalgic feel. Obviously, it being set in 2001, around the grime kind of as it was starting, that kind of era. So yeah, I think obviously music as a genre, grime is definitely a big part of it as well. That nostalgic UK feel to it. Yeah.
And of course, you're all a lot younger than I am. Turn of the millennium. How familiar were you with this period, I guess, in general, but also particularly the music? And I know the show's loosely based on DJ Target's book. Did you have to do a lot of research? Did you sort of have to take yourself back in time, talk to, older people, parents, things like that? How did you get into the zone?
Yeah, 100%. I think for me, we were quite lucky because obviously, as you just said, Grime Kids, Target's book, it's loosely based on that. And especially the start of the book is very much the time that this show exists in. So that, for starters, reading that, well, actually listen to it, listening to that book, really trying to understand the time, the area, what was going on. I think that was a lot of the research that I did. We also spoke with a couple of people. We spoke with Genius, we spoke with some of the people at Rinse, just to kind of understand what was going on in that time, just so we had more information about it. But yeah, those were the main things that I did. Just lots of research, lots of YouTube videos, just watching what it was like in 2001 to go to raves and to be out. And yeah.
And documentaries as well on BBC.
And it's everything as well. It's like, it's even the sets, the clothes, I don't know, the way people speak. It's recent history, but it is very different to today, I imagine.
Yeah.
The other thing I love about the show is obviously, you've got this collection of characters and each has their own unique personality, but also backstory that comes out through the story. Maybe you could each tell us a bit about your character, maybe 3 words to describe your character or how you saw them.
Genevieve, she's outgoing, she's nice, supportive, and she's very much heads on. She knows what she wants in life. She's very confident, but not arrogant. She's very sweet.
I would say Kai is charismatic, outspoken, and insecure. I think there's it's a plethora of words, but they definitely make sense when you watch it and you kind of see the different sides of the character unravel as the show progresses. So yeah.
I'm Gabriel, who plays Junior. I would say Junior is loyal. I think he's sad, and I think he's confused as well. I think you'll see it more as the show goes on. But yeah, as a part, I think it was just when you're going through loss, I think there's a lot of emotions that come with that. There's a lot of things that you do to try and manage it and to try and make yourself feel better or to distract yourself from it. So yeah, I would say those 3. And yeah, as the show goes on, you'll see more.
But Dane, I'd say he is ambitious. I'd say he's selfless, and I'd also say he's selfish.
You might have not spoken.
I think Bio he's happy-go-lucky, of course. He's very loyal to his friends, and he's persistent when he wants to have something. So yeah.
For Bishop, I say he's thoughtful, considered, and I'd say influenced.
And something that really comes out when watching it is all these characters, but also their relationships feel very lived in, like you've been friends for years. How did you kind of prepare for that? Did you have some rehearsal time? Was that something that just came alive on set? It must have been a lot of fun to make.
Yeah, we had some rehearsal time. But I think the main thing that probably contributed was the fact that we actually lived together for a lot of the time. So we couldn't really get away from each other, even if we kind of wanted to.
No choice. No choice.
So it was kind of forced to like. No, I'm joking. It naturally was lucky to have got along so well, and spending more time with each other outside of work, whether it be we're all in the car together, going home or going for dinner at the end of a work day. It really strengthened our relationship and kind of helped us understand our characters even more, I'd say.
Nah, definitely. The 6 months we was living together, it was integral, like to playing the characters, I feel, and like just gaining a feel for one another and actually understanding and actually wanting to be around each other, which was, I think, was really important to just bringing the characters to life, because the characters within the show are trying to understand each other, which I felt we were doing alongside that. So it really was important in order to gain the end result that we have done. So yeah.
I think there was like a click from like our last audition when we all actually first met each other that like flowed throughout the whole show, to be honest with you. And I think, yeah, from that first day, we kind of solidified, and that carried us throughout. Yeah,
I agree with what all the three boys said at the beginning. I think especially from that last audition. When I think about it, there was something special that was already happening amongst us, because it was sort of like even the anticipation at the thought of all five of us doing it didn't really feel like it was your own solo dream coming true, but like a shared dream. And like every one of them getting what they wanted felt like you were getting exactly what you wanted as well. But then I also think that like Teresa's writing is something that assisted that feeling of chemistry throughout the whole thing. Because I feel like if we're dealing with a story that doesn't have much vulnerability or doesn't have much connection between people or anything, we might have been encouraged to kind of live our own personal life in the same vein. But I think since the script was so like provocative and like evoked all of these emotions out of us when we were reading it and sharing amongst each other in the space, it almost felt disjointed to then separate from that and stop doing all of that stuff amongst each other as people. So I kind of think like the personal aspect along with the story kind of tied it all together in this way.
Absolutely. And there's so many amazing scenes, and there's something about the way Teresa's put it together, like the colors just pop, and it's like very creatively shot. I wonder if you had a favorite scene to film, or and some very funny lines. I mean, when you go into the bar and you try to order a sherry, I don't know, there's just like very relatable bits in it. Do you have a favorite scene in the shooting of it?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna steal your the food fight at the start. I think that was the fun, because we actually, I think I'm allowed to say this, we shot it a bunch of different times. I think there was 3 different days where we did that one scene, and on every single one of them, just being able to throw flour and water at kids was really fun, to be fair. So yeah, I really enjoyed that day as a collective. Yeah, it was good. Anyone else?
No.
Again was with Kai Shanu at the beginning. It was really, really funny, so funny to watch, and just the poetic side of it.
My favorite scene was Rhythm Division. I feel like the nostalgic feel to it like took us back to the 2000s, and it felt like we were actually there. So yeah, I think that's my favorite.
One of mine would be the raid in the flat. That was one of my favorite scenes to shoot with Shani, and that was fun as well. We captured a lot of, I'd say, the culture in kind of like condensed form. That was one of my favorite scenes to shoot.
Yeah, I loved Nights in the Realm. It was just experiencing the raids in 2001, like that's something I would never experience if I didn't get this job, you know. So it was wicked. Just the colors, the themes, the clothes, just how we spoke to one another, and just like it was definitely like I was saying, it felt like I was learning something. I was gaining knowledge from it. yeah, so it's going to be great to be able to share it with everyone.
And it felt like a party as well.
No, honestly,
Everyone there, yeah, that everyone was there. Actually,
I think I'm almost out of time, but what do you hope people take away from watching it? Because it is almost like traveling back in time to that period, and maybe quite educational for some people who don't know about kind of the roots of grime, and all the music. But it also is kind of universal in sense of capturing that feeling of being on the cusp of adulthood. That line that says, is this the last summer we'll be kids? And a lot of people can, whether they're your age or whether they're older, can really relate to that. So what do you think people take away?
I feel like people should take away that no dream at all is too small, because like all dreams start from somewhere and you don't know where things could actually end up.
Yeah, I think similar to what you said, like nostalgia and that exactly last summer, every single friendship group has had that summer that they might have thought was the last, or when people were moving on, or whatever it might be. Pretty much everyone has experienced that. So I think that's what the audience can take away, is a group of friends just going for it on the last summer. They might actually all be together. So yeah.
Going out with a bang. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing all that with me, and I can't wait for everyone else to have the chance to see Grime Kids. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Cheers, guys. Bye.